WAKO Australian Super Welterweight belt goes on the line here, and that is Michael Kenna, the 23-year-old, making his way into the ring. And Michael Chavello, a very accomplished performer.
Oh, definitely. Michael Kenna is a favourite of the Melbourne kickboxing circuit in particular, and a specialist in Muay Thai. Only 23 years old with a very extensive background in the martial arts, 13 years with the Bob Jones Corporation. And his first fight was back in 1994, and since then he has established himself on the kickboxing circuit as a hard man to reckon with, especially with the knees. He's going up tonight against the President, Dean Keady. Should be a fantastic event, 5 by 2-minute rounds for the Waco Australian Super Welterweight title.
Of course, Michael Kenna, I can remember him. I think he's been training in karate from the time he could walk, and he's made the transition to kickboxing, Thai boxing, and he also turns his hand to a relatively new art called shoot fighting, which is a mixture of kickboxing and wrestling and grappling. So Michael Kenna, he's a jack of all trades.
And making his way to the ring at the moment is the President, Dean Keady, another regular competitor on the Melbourne kickboxing circuit. His last contest in Sunshine earlier this year, which he saw on Fox Sports against Cenk Bayhic. He went the distance with the Great White Shark and lost a unanimous decision. He's not a flashy fighter, but he is effective, especially at close range. Relies a lot on his hands, the President, Dean Keady, and should give Michael Kenna a real run for his money tonight.
Dean Keady, he's been around for a long time. He's a very experienced campaigner, very proficient in boxing, and I'm sure he'll be there for the fight, and he'll put on a good show.
Let's take you over to our ring announcer, Howard Lee.
Okay, we're slightly changing the pace. This is the World Association of Kickboxing Organizations. Waco, not Waco from America, the infamous place, but certainly the World Association of Kickboxing Organizations. Australian Super Welterweight Championship. Oriental rules. 2 minutes break between each round. Schedule 5 rounds.
All right, 10-second time. You know the rules. Nice, clean fight.
In charge of the action, Peter Clark, working in overdrive. Would you welcome from the blue corner on my left? He lives in Thornbury, Victoria, wearing BJC black trunks. He is a WKA ISKA East Coast and Victorian WKA Muay Thai champion. He has a record of 15 bouts, 8 wins, 1 draw, 6 losses, with Rick Curry in the corner. Would you welcome the Rhino, Michael Kenna. Across the ring, occupying the red corner, scaling 69.5 kilograms, 26 years of age, from Frankston, Victoria. Former ISKA Australian Super Welterweight Champion and WKA East Coast Welterweight Champion, with a record of 22 bouts, 15 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw. Dave Berry, his mentor. Would you welcome wearing black trunks, Dean Keady. Dean Keady. Peter Clark in charge.
Gentlemen, nice, clean fight. In the event of a knockdown, the nearest neutral corner, the corner I direct you to. In the place of a tangle up when you're fighting here, don't put your hands up, surrender at any time during the fight. I will call fight out, or I'll separate you. If I'm going to slingshot you, I'll give you a quick call. I'm going to sling. Do you have any questions? I want a nice, clean fight now. Don't talk your fighters in the fight. Nice, clean fight. Let's get it on.
2-minute break between each round. Northern Special Vehicles sponsoring bout 4 in our program.
Well, as you saw there, with the two men getting together, not much in their height. Only half a kilo in Dean Keady's favour, 69.5 kgs up against Michael Kenna, 69. Very evenly matched, scheduled for 5 rounds for the Australian Super Welterweight title. We get under action here, and it's Dean Keady who comes in straight away. A flashy jab, a couple of high kicks as well. Good solid right, finding the target against Michael Kenna as well.
Yes, John, the President, Dean Keady, renowned for his boxing skills, but opening up with a couple of nice front kicks as well. There's a high left roundhouse kick by the Rhino in the neutral corner. He'll be looking for a big win tonight, the Rhino. He's taken on some of the biggest names in his weight division recently, including Cenk Bayhic and Anthony Vella. And in his most recent contest, he won a 4-man elimination tournament.
What's the kick?
This is a big night for the Rhino to impress a large crowd here at Festival Hall. Ran straight into a left hand by the President, Dean Keady.
Excellent action here in the opening round. the Australian title. Kenna coming on strong. Keady, though, appears to have had the better of this so far. Good right hand again from Dean Keady.
Fantastic conditioning on both of these men.
Oh, big right hand from Keady. Again, found the target. No love lost between these two. Slight clash of heads in an earlier clinch. Didn't help that area. And both men very powerful.
This is an important fight for Michael Kenna. He's been working very hard towards this one, practicing a lot of new drills. And he is one of the leading Muay Thai exponents, especially on the local scene. We saw him perform the pre-fight ritual of the Ram Muay earlier on. There's a very good first round between two fantastic fighters. High right roundhouse kick not finding the mark by Michael Kenna. Moves in with the left. There's the high right roundhouse kick again, but well guarded up against by the President, Dean Keady. Oh, Keady connected with a beautiful left jab. Goes with the inside leg kick to the inside left thigh of Kenna, who retaliates across the ring with a leg kick of his own. Uppercut there by the President. Kenna moves in with the left. Fantastic first round so far, Mark Castanini.
It certainly is. Dean Keady, he knows Michael Kenna's very proficient with his knees, so every time they get into that grappling situation, he'll pick him off with punches and move out of there, which is very smart fighting on Dean Keady's behalf, knowing that Michael Kenna is certainly a very experienced Thai fighter.
Front kick there by the President, follows it up with a left jab. Round kick to the outside left thigh of Michael Kenna. Dummied with the left, followed up by a roundhouse kick. Both men looking good. Hard to separate them at the end of the first round. Mark Castanini, very even one. Hard to pick.
As John said earlier, no love lost here. Both of these boys have a karate background known as Zendokai karate, which is a freestyle karate. They've both been training for years. Dean Keady, the slightly older of the two. But there's no lack of experience on either of these boys' behalf, and that was great technique from both fighters then.
An interesting note is that Michael Kenna, speaking about his martial arts background, actually comes from a family of black belts. His father, his sister and himself all hold black belts in the art of Zendokai. And Michael first started in the martial arts when he was only 10 years old and began teaching when he was 16 years old. So he definitely has a lot of experience behind him. I can see you scribbling madly again there, John Casey. How did you see the first round?
Well, I think Dean Keady's left jab was the most effective weapon there in the opening round. And I think he did enough damage with that to take the round 10-9. But certainly Michael Kenna wasn't intimidated by Keady.
Keady also throwing a good array of kicks there, putting that front kick in Michael Kenna's face. Dean has a slight height and reach advantage, and he's using that very well. This is a good fight to watch. Any young guys watching this fight, just have a look at the technique of these two, and you'll pick up some good pointers.
Program guide in the next month or so.
Well, Mark, as a former boxer, these Oriental rules having 2 minutes break between each round. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The 2 minutes, of course, using these, you're using 8 weapons in Muay Thai. That's why they have the 2 minute break, because you're expelling so much more energy. Throwing knees. In Thailand, they're using elbows, kicks, punching. So you need that little bit extra rest period in between round.
Well, here we go. Second round action from Festival Hall for the Australian Super Welterweight crown. And again, Dean Keady comes up very busy. 3 front kicks to Michael Kenna, trying to establish some authority here in the early stages of round 2.
Keady showing some good technique with that front kick, something which he didn't display in his last fight against Jake Bahik. So it looks like his stable have really stepped up that aspect of his fighting. And the Rhino moving in for a left roundhouse kick of his own to the midsection. Caught one smack on the kisser there from the President. Bit of a teeth rattler, that one. High right roundhouse kick by the Rhino. Both men duking it out in the centre of the ring. There was a knee to the midsection by the President, Dean Keady. Throwing out the left there, Kenna, followed up by a roundhouse kick to the midsection again. Both men obviously have a lot of respect for each other. And there's the left by Kenna. Didn't upset Keady too much. Nice jab by Keady, found the mark. Kenna backs him against the ropes.
Dean Keady just appears to be a little bit more composed at the moment. He obviously is feeling very confident, just picking his mark, coming up with that left jab when it's necessary. And has Kenna chasing him across the ring. Again, he goes with a front kick up high. And it's the second time. Now the right hand. The combinations from Keady just have a little bit more sting in them than those from Kenna at the moment.
That's right, John. He's very impressive at the moment, the President Dean Keady. And one too many of those front kicks will really take the starch out of you. Wound up for the high left kick again to the head section of Kenna, but he danced out of the way of it.
Keeps walking into the left jab, does Michael Kenna.
Kenna trying to get him there with the left hook, didn't come off.
Good combination punches again from the President, Dean Keady.
Kenna goes with the overhand right, didn't find the mark. Keady delivers a left roundhouse kick just above the ribs. And a nice, powerful low leg kick there by Kenna, but again, he walked into that left hand, as you were saying, John. Has to be careful of it.
It's been the most damaging punch so far for Dean Keady. He's been feeding Kenna a constant supply of the left jab and usually follows it up with either the right hand or works downstairs in combination. Again, the left found the target, if not flush, from Dean Keady.
Mark Castanini, the President, putting together some wicked combinations in this round.
Yes, that's all right, Michael. As John said earlier, Dean Keady getting that jab home almost every time. And that could be due to the fact that Michael Kenna's trying to get in for the grapple. And Dean has obviously well rehearsed his game plan. And he's just picking that jab. Every time he comes in for the grapple, he fires that jab out. And that's causing Michael to somewhat fight Dean's fight, which is never good.
Up. And Michael Kenna finishing the second round with a leg kick to the inside right leg of the President. Perhaps not enough done, though, by the Rhino in that round, John Casey, to take the points.
No, again, I thought Dean Keady did enough with that left jab and the combinations you spoke of to take the round on my card, at least. So I have him taking the first two rounds 10-9. Michael Kenna just at the moment appears to have problems getting in close enough with that good jab from Dean Keady, and I wonder if he's going to change his game plan a little here.
Well, it's one of those things. You go into the ring and you have a plan in your mind and you've rehearsed it and you've trained for it. And when that happens and something like what Dean's doing now, he's basically shooting Michael's game plan down. So they're going to have to quickly, you know, find some new answers, which is very hard to do on the night. But, you know, we'll just see how we go with this next round. Dean Keady using all his weapons to great effect so far. Of course, it's only going to take for Michael to get in and start throwing some knees. And knees in this type of fighting is the highest scoring technique. So if Michael does grab on and let some good knees go, he could quickly pile up some points.
This is the fourth bout of the war zone. Michael Kenna in the blue corner up against the President Dean Keady for the WAKO Australian Super Welterweight title. Brought to you by Tarak Solak. You're seeing it here on Fox Sport from Festival Hall in downtown Melbourne. A fantastic fight night of kickboxing action so far.
And as regular Fox Sports viewers will know, we are increasing our commitment to the domestic fight scene, both orthodox boxing and kickboxing. Eventually, we hope to get to the stage where we will have a weekly event, and hopefully we will be coming to a venue near you very soon.
We're ready to rumble in the third round. Michael Kenna against the President. The President opening up with that front kick again. It's been one of his stronger weapons in this fight, along with his jab. Going downstairs, he hurt him then with that outside left thigh kick.
Michael Kenna in the shorter of the black trunks with white trim at the moment. Has changed tack just a little after Keady dominated the start of the first two rounds. Kenna decides he's going to take it up to Keady. At the moment, the President's quite happy to mix it with him.
Kenna going downstairs, looking for those leg kicks again, and you can see a red mark developing on the rear thigh of the President Dean Keady, the rear left thigh. Comes out with that front kick again.
Certainly a much better round so far for Michael Kenna. Appears to have the strength downstairs, but it's certainly Dean Keady's jab, his boxing technique at the moment. He's powering up some points. Oh, excellent move there from Michael Kenna.
Nice spinning heel kick by the Rhino. And the crowd impressed by that one, tying him up for the grapple and trying to work the knees. Mark Castanini, that's the opportunity he's been waiting for, and he has to make the most out of it.
That's right, and I think he's going to try and keep trying to get inside there and let those knees go. But he set him up well there with a spinning hook kick. Dean probably thinking, well, he's not going to try and get him with the knees anymore, so he took him a little bit by surprise there.
Well, it's taken Michael Kenna a couple of rounds to get inside, but he's doing it and turning it on here in round number 3. You get the impression that Dean Keady is not happy with the attention he's receiving.
Well, the Rhino, Michael Kenna, trying to turn this contest around. So far, it's been a kickboxing contest, which has been in favour of Dean Keady, but Kenna making it into a Muay Thai contest, using the knees and tying Keady up, and it's working fantastically at the moment, trying to deliver those stunning knees to the jaw of the President, Dean Keady.
Big crowd starting to get involved as well. 2 fights still to come on this big card. And undoubtedly, this is the best round of this matchup so far for Michael Kenna.
Well, the complexion of this match is really starting to change around now that Michael Kenna is using his knees. Goes downstairs there with a crushing leg kick to the outside left thigh of the President, Dean Keady. And he's developing a huge red welt on that left thigh. Spinning kick again by the Rhino. He's come out guns blazing in this round, and it's devastating so far.
What's the groin? What's the groin?
He's very athletic and spectacular, Michael Kenna. And at the moment, Dean Keady has soaked up a lot of punishment here in round number 3.
There's that high left roundhouse kick again by Kenna to end the 3rd round. The Rhino coming through with the goods in that round, turning it into a Muay Thai contest. Mark the Hammer Castanini, his corner, will be very happy with that display.
Something a little bit different from Michael. He's grabbed this fight by the scruff of the neck and decided he's going to make it his own and fight his own fight, which is good to see. So he's set up Dean with some nice high spinning kicks, and then he's come in for the grapple, which is a very tricky move. And hats off to Michael Kenna for doing that, showing a lot of heart and getting almost a new lease of energy and getting in there and working Dean really hard. Dean breathing quite hard in the corner at the moment, and we'll see how this fight progresses from here. Hopefully Dean will come out. He's got the Tyson shorts on, Tyson black shorts on, so he's going to come out with the Tyson attitude. Let's hope.
President Dean Keady, no doubt being told by his corner to avoid the grappling situations at all costs, and no doubt the corner of Michael Kenna very impressed with that round, telling him to stay in close, to go the grapple, to tie up the President and work those knees to the midsection and try and get in a knee to the jaw, which would signal lights out for the President if he does connect. John Casey, how did you see that round?
Well, I think that Michael Kenna certainly got on top there by getting in close. Certainly the jab of Dean Keady wasn't as effective, and on my card at least, Michael Kenna took the round 10-9. And that brings him to within 1 point of Dean Keady on my card. Keady leading at 29-28 after taking the first 2 rounds. But it will be interesting to see here exactly how things pan out in the last 2 rounds, because Keady dominated the first 2, but Kenna switched that around convincingly in round number 3, and now it's going to be a battle of wills.
It certainly will be, John. And Michael Kenna, he's certainly got a bit of hope from that round, and I think he's going to come out with a lot more enthusiasm and really believe in himself that he can take this fight.
Here we go, round number 4 from Festival Hall. Kenna again trying to get in as close as possible against Keady and continue the good work he came up with in round 3. Has Keady pinned in the neutral corner for the moment, and now Peter Clark will step between them if he can. Separates the 2 fighters.
Michael Kenna, that walk up and walk through attitude of his, going in for the grapple, that is his game plan, and look at those knees. You can feel the power of those ones. 4 rows from the front, right in front of our commentary position. Michael Kenna unleashing his salvos, and Dean Keady, worse for wear. Another nice knee to the midsection, to the rib cage, and Mark Castellini, those ones there really take the sting right out of your game plan.
Well, it sure does, Michael. And Michael Kenna is proficient with knees. And you can just have a look at him going to work there.
Dean Keady making sure he keeps the gloves in front of his face when he's got his head being pulled down by Kenna, who's deliberately trying to knee him to the jaw. That'll put the lights right out if Kenna connects with one of those, and we've seen him do it in the past. And the president knows that he has to keep him at bay. He has to keep that left jab working and that front kick working that he was using so effectively in the first and second rounds.
Referee Peter Clark doing a good job there, getting between the fighters once again. Keady now also working downstairs. Keady's height certainly is helping him here. Kenna trying to drive the knees, but having trouble just getting up high enough. And both men tumble to the canvas.
Wipe your gloves. On your pants, on your own pants.
Michael Kenna impressive again in this round. Moves in for the grapple yet again. Both men tied up against the ropes. Kenna goes with another knee to the rib cage. That'll make the president wish he was somewhere else. And referee Peter Clark moving in to separate both fighters. Mark Castellini, the more this fight is going on, the more the complexion of it is changing, swaying in the favour of the Rhino Michael Kenna.
Well, Dean's not doing what he was doing earlier, and that's keeping Michael off him. He's actually just standing there and letting Michael tick off with those knees. Right. And he's got to get back to doing what he was earlier and just keeping his distance, using his jab. And he's not doing that anymore.
Keady steps forward now, coming on strong. Loses his footing, slips to the canvas. No doubt feeling the effects of two busy rounds from Michael Kenna. Keady comes up with a good knee of his own there, but in close, certainly Kenna appears to be getting the better of it.
Definitely, John. It's Kenna's game to work inside and work those knees, and it's his most effective weapon. And in the third round and in this round, he has worked them beautifully. And there's the end of the fourth. Another round. Mark the Hammer Castellini would just call that one there to the Rhino Michael Kenna.
I'd say you have to give that to Michael. Dean's slowing down a little now, and Michael's just getting the scent of victory and coming home strong. He's got the fifth round to go, and in traditional Thai fashion, they always start a little slow, the Thai fighters, and I think that could be a reason that Michael just took it easy in that first round and a half. And as I said, the traditional Thai style is to start slow and just build up and come home strongly, and that's exactly what we're seeing from Michael.
John Casey, I can see you scribbling madly again. It looks like you've got a 2 rounds apiece, with the last 2 rounds going to the Rhino Michael Kenna.
Yes, Michael Kenna certainly has turned this fight around in rounds 3 and 4. I have him taking both after Keady had won the opening 2 in a contrasting style, using that left jab and more boxing skills. So it all comes down to the 5th and final round to decide the WAKO Australian Super Welterweight title.
Mark Castellini, what does the president need to do in this round? He obviously didn't have that front kick working like it was in the first and second rounds. He needs to keep Kenna at bay with that front kick and with that trip hammer of a jab.
I think Dean's in a bit of a dilemma now. I've seen him try the jab, try the handiwork, and then he's tried to get in and also trade with grappling techniques with Michael, which is probably not a good idea because Michael is certainly more experienced with that. But it's going to be interesting to see just how Dean comes into this 5th round and what they're going to try. I'd say revert back to what worked to start with, stick that jab out, keep him away, work the leg kicks, and don't fight Michael at his own game. Get Michael out of his comfort zone, which of course is the Muay Thai fighting.
Well, it's been an excellent contest so far for the WKO Australian Super Welterweight title. And Michael Kenna and Dean Keady are going to decide it here in the 5th and final round. Keady, left of your screen, is down on the end of a solid right kick from Michael Kenna. It's called a slip, though. And Michael Kenna, in the shorter of the black trunks with the white trim, coming on strong again.
Oh, Kenna almost took his head off with that roundhouse kick before. Just a little bit short. A bit more power behind it, and it could have been lights out for Keady. Ties him up again. Dangerous situation. Michael Kenna is like a bomber on a seek and destroy mission with those knees. He's relentless. He's got him against the ropes. Goes for the knee to the jaw. Well covered up against with the gloves by the president, Dean Keady. He wants to get out of there. And referee Peter Clark stepping in and separating both fighters.
Been a very good display from both men, trying to work in different tactics.
This fight has been like a game of chess. The moves in the first 2 rounds were all in the favour of the President Dean Keady, but in the 3rd round, Michael Kenna turned it in to a display with his knees and grappling skills, and it really turned the tide of this match around. There's that big spinning hook kick again by the Rhino.
Good right hand from Dean Keady, found the target too. Hasn't produced enough of it though in the last couple of rounds. Scored him many points in the opening 2 rounds. Since then, he's had a lot on his mind with Kenna working in close.
And Mark Castanini, in a fight under Muay Thai rules, you don't get any room to breathe. And it's obviously something that is troubling the President Dean Keady at the moment. Kenna isn't giving him an inch.
Well, he certainly is. Kenna's just going full bore now. He knows it's the 5th round and he's got to give it his all. Dean shouldn't be standing there and just let Michael tick off at him. He should either tie him up or get out. And unfortunately, he's been standing there letting Michael pile up those points with the knees.
President Dean Keady moving in now with his hands to the midsection. Ooh, connected with a nice left knee of his own to the jaw of Michael Kenna. And the crowd responding to that one. A rare knee from the President Dean Keady. But Kenna shook it off and says, I've got a little bit more for you here, President. Come on. Over in the neutral corner. Uppercut by Keady. And both men tangled up again. John Casey against the ropes. Impressive indeed is Michael the Rhino Kenna.
Well, both men have been very brave. They know this fight is up for grabs here in the 5th and final round. This is where it's going to be decided. And in a show of strength, Michael Kenna body slams Dean Keady to the canvas. A little bit untidy.
That is in fact a dump, and it is a scoring technique in Thai rules. So Kenna trying to work that. And hopefully the judges are switched on to it and will award him accordingly.
Good right hand there from Dean Keady. Kenna has soaked up all the punishment he can hand out at the moment. And what a fantastic performance from both men for the WAKO Super Welterweight Australian title. Michael Kenna and Dean Keady both very brave, and it's going to be very hard to split them on points.
Have to agree with you there, John Casey. We've just seen the best bout of the night so far. First couple of rounds definitely belong to the President Dean Keady, but I felt that after the 3rd round, Michael Kenna turned on the adrenaline, turned on the power in the knee and grappling department, and took the fight after that. Mark Castanini, how did you see that final round, and how did you see the fight overall?
It was a great fight. I take my hat off to both of these boys. They've both gone in there and given it their all. I'd say I'd just give that last round to Michael, just on a point. And be interesting to see how the judges score it. Let's hope that, as I said, they're switched on to the Thai method of scoring. And if so, I'd have to put my money on Michael Kenna.
Well, it certainly was very close. There's no doubt about that. I gave the final round to Michael Kenna as well, just for the sake of splitting the two. I have him winning the fight by a single point. That is unofficial. And as I say, I wouldn't be surprised that if this was scored as a draw, it's going to be very tight. Dean Keady won the first 2 rounds on my card, but finishing the stronger may help Michael Kenna.
And in the ring at the moment, we see the father of Australian kickboxing, Bob Jones, the man who brought the sport to this country, and the man who has been at the forefront of incorporating Muay Thai into Australia. And we've just seen the best bout of the night so far between the President Dean Keady and the Rhino Michael Kenna for the WAKO Australian Super Welterweight title. Let's see what the decision will be.
Pleasure to referee, guys. Good fight. Thanks for listening all the way through. Good fight.
Thank you, John Casey. Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds of kickboxing, your new WAKO Australian Super Welterweight champion is Dean Keady.
Well, we expected that it was going to be very close, and the judges have found Dean Keady to be successful through 5 rounds for the Australian Super Welterweight title. And coming up next, our 2 feature events. Of course, our feature is Gurkhan Ozcan against Ian Jacobs for the ISKA World Super Middleweight Muay Thai title. But ahead of that, the ISKA Commonwealth Freestyle Rules title. Aris Nizif against Charlie Arnautovic. And we shall return with more from Festival Hall in just